Hello. Ooh, what are you eating?
An orange.
Ooh, I love the small oranges. They're so good.
How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Just took Presley on a little workout walk this morning.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so we're both a little tuckered out because we did hills today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, it's only 11.
Yeah. We were up early.
Very impressive.
Yeah. It was a lot. I was like, I don't want to get out and go walk, but then he was like so hyper, and I'm like, we've got to go walk.
Yeah.
Tire him out. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. The weather's not real, like it's cloudy and it says it's gonna rain, but who knows?
Who knows?
We're in the red though. It said like we have severe weather heading our way this afternoon, like hail,
Yeah.
thunderstorms, like all
That
that. I'm
was
like, great.
that was us. That was us this past weekend. It was like tornado warnings and all this stuff. I'm like, welcome to spring.
Yeah. It's like we want rain, but I don't want hail.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it looks pretty bad outside. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, that all just passed us. Hello, good morning.
Good
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. We had a surrounding. I'm not sure if you knew that I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. Not sure if we got that in the intro. So not too far from me, near Wichita. I don't know if any of you saw the recordings of the tornado that touched down there this week.
I
I've
did.
been, y'all have been in the red. I feel like Oklahoma, Kansas,
Crazy.
even Louisiana has just been beat up.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
where I'm from. And so my family's there. And it's just like, oh my God.
With storms or with tornadoes?
Yeah, just storms, like constant, like rain, flooding, just it's constant.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at it, like it's been a fairly, like, temperature wise mild spring for us. Like I feel like this time other years it's already been kind of hot and it's stayed 50s, 60s, 70s for the most part. But in India it's like beyond normal heat advisories. It's like dangerous to human life levels, which is so weird.
I heard about that. That. It's bad, like really,
it's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just so weird that, I mean, obviously we are far apart, but we're on the same planet, and in one place it's like cooler than average, and in another it's like
hot.
Crazy hot.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's
insane.
I feel like India always is hit pretty hard, it seems like, with a lot of things, like natural disasters, climate, the whole COVID thing. Like, it was just like, I feel bad for them. They're always hit with negative things.
They do, and they have the range because it is a huge country too. So I guess like the states, it can just really vary. Also, like
I mean, it's a huge country, so yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's also a beautiful place too. It's somewhere I would love to go and visit one day.
Yeah, same.
Greetings.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Okay.
You're good.
Glad to hear it.
Tim, are you back home? Did you make it?
I am still on the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Soon.
How are you traveling? Are you doing a road trip?
Yeah, just driving.
Awesome. Anybody have anything fun or interesting happen to them this week?
I accept
it's okay if the answer's
offer.
no. Oh, you got a job offer? Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
Congrats.
I'm excited. I'm really nervous. May 16th.
Fantastic.
Monday, May 16th.
Congratulations. Can you tell us anything about it?
I mean, I think so. I don't see why not. It's a company called iWork, and they're based out of Michigan, but they also have an office in, I think, Arizona, and then one in Dallas, Texas. And obviously I do working remotely. Just your typical tech company. It's not real big. I think that the team of developers is like maybe 50 to 60. So I consider that not real big. And everyone there is just really nice, and they got to know me as a human first before asking me to do all this stuff. And yeah, I got good vibes. I'm considered a junior or entry level developer, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm like really nervous.
You're gonna do great. We all know you're gonna do great. We've seen your code. We've seen you present. You got nothing to worry about.
Well, the code was a huge team effort, so I don't know what it would have looked like if it was just me by myself.
None of us is as good as all of us, and that's always true. This is something I found recently talking with people who come out of like Google in particular, is that like they'll tell you themselves that like there's, on the one hand, like Google tends to hire smart people, but on the other hand, like they also are massively like enhanced by like a suite of tools that's been built there. To a large extent, they mostly just employ ordinary people who are kind of like given force multipliers by the fact the organization has been doing such like huge work on developer experience and extra like CI tools and new programming languages, and they've invested heavily in that. But so even the largest and most well-known tech company in the world doesn't like demand that everyone be a super developer. They also expect that everyone's going to get help from their team and from their tools. And we know that I know from experience that there's nobody who can make it on their own who I want to talk to. There might be your
That's a good point.
10x developer, but in my experience, they're all the worst.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Like, you have no idea how much I appreciate that.
Well, congratulations. And what do you say we get started? I think Alex is on demo duty for today.
Yeah, I think so. So if we want to go through them, we did 7 and 8, and obviously you guys did the two of them together. So I don't know if someone wants to take, I think we'll just start from 7 if someone wants to take that one.
Yeah.
I know we
I'll
had
take
kind of
that.
like a weird snafu where the one merged both of them, which
Yeah, I have no idea why that happened.
I'm not quite sure either. I think you're right. They just got linked somehow, and GitHub just like went for it.
Okay, I'll do 7, and I think Sarani's going to do 8. So let me share my screen.
Oh, do you want to share yours, or you want me to share?
Oh no, that's fine. You already got it shared. Sure, I can do it that way. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, whichever you prefer. Like, I'm cool, whatever.
Okay, let me make this go away. Some box popped up by accident. Okay, okay. So for issue 7, the user needed to be able to see a welcoming prompt. That way they could add their first item if their list was empty, and it kind of got them started using the app. And so we have our H1 heading smart shopping list that renders to the list page or the list component. And then from there, we have a reusable component, the navigation component, and it's and I think I'm saying this right, by we're passing down the prop token from that component. And then so we have a conditional: if the document's length is empty or equal to 0, then it's going to render another div with a paragraph tag that says your shopping list is currently empty. And along with that, it's also going to render a button that's linked to the add item page. And you'll notice up at the top in the address bar, it's right now it's on the list page, and then it's also got the 3-word token. And so if you click on the button add item, it should take you to the add item page with the same 3-word token. So you can add items to the list for that particular token. And I think that's it for that, for issue 7. And I know that if the list is empty, if Sarani wants to show that if the list is not empty, then it will have items with a checkbox like that. So
Awesome.
that was it for 7.
Pretty easy one. Do you want to just open up your code and walk us through it a little bit?
Oh, do y'all not see it there on the screen?
Or can I just not see it? I'm crazy.
See
Oh,
it? Yeah.
I was just hiding that side of my window.
Oh, okay. I was like, I think they're side by side.
No, really, I had another window literally right on top of it.
Yeah, here's the code. Here's the conditional she was talking about.
Yeah.
My whole van of white.
Yeah.
And then the below that is the UL where Sarani is going to talk about issue 8 and the checkboxes a little bit more in detail.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So I think Sarani, if you want to go now, I don't know. Do you want to share your screen, or would you just like Shireen just to keep hers up because it's right there?
Oh yeah, I'm the one sharing, so I can go ahead and just
okay.
jump in from here. Issue 8 was a little brain teaser, to be honest. It kind of really stumped us for a second. Shout out to Tim, who really spearheaded in helping us figure this one out. But what ultimately ended up happening is that we created this function called time difference, and we are taking in the timestamp in milliseconds, and if there wasn't a timestamp in milliseconds, we like returned false. So in order to like solve all of that, we just set like the milliseconds, whatever equaled the day, 24 hours. We set the date to date dot now, and we're like, if we took the difference is date minus the timestamp in milliseconds, and then we set the comparison. A lot of just setting it just to get it going. And then the difference, if the difference was greater than the day in milliseconds, we ended up returning a comparison down here. Just this is just kind of getting the code kind of set up. And in order to, we did that way later on for the checkbox change. We could bring in the await, the update doc to update the database, the token, and the ID. And we did a ternary for the purchase date if checked, null if not, the server timestamp. Then down here with the checked is when we start doing the time difference function that we really set. And this is essentially saying if there is a purchase date and that date is less than 24 hours, set this still like milliseconds to true. Am I explaining this right, Tim? On a general sense, am I leaving something out?
No, you got it.
Perfect. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little nervous when I present. So in the checkbox change down here, ultimately what it's going to do is that if the user clicks this checkbox right here, then 24 hours, that checkbox is going to be unchecked. And I think we have one in our Firebase that still has everything. I should have had this one ready to go. Forgot all about that. Shireen, do you remember which one, the name of our token that we had that on?
Give us Silky Rock, Sue. And we love the 3-word tokens. They're amazing.
They're amazing. So, okay, Silky Rock Sue, the purchase date was April 27th. And I think I can. Silky Rock Is that how you spell Sue? That's it. And it's unchecked after the purchase date. So, ta-da.
Awesome.
The checked, the method, the time difference method, that one, does that return a Boolean or the difference in milliseconds? I'm trying to remember.
Boolean.
Okay, cool.
I think, Sarani, you can open up the JavaScript console, the inspect on your page and show them. I think it's still there,
yeah,
isn't it, Tim,
right.
or no? Or did we get rid of all those? I think the console logs are still there, yeah.
Yeah, all the
console
console
you can kind of see what's happening.
Oh yeah, I see that, nice.
Yeah, shout out to Tim for that.
100%.
Yeah, that smells great.
Spelled difference wrong. Feel bad about that.
You got to mess up somewhere. You're human.
How did it go working as a group as opposed to pairs this week, or how did you guys end up kind of splitting the work on this?
So we met up Monday night on our like dev meeting, and then we just jumped right into it together. And I can't speak for Shereen and Tim, but I personally loved it, being able to just bounce ideas for like all of us, especially with issue 8 being as like massive as it was. But yes, that's my personal.
That's good. So all of you guys are feeling pretty good about like, coming up this week doing 2 more as a group again. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. We just want to make sure that you guys are comfortable. And if at any point you're feeling like you're overwhelmed, one of us can step in and be the 4th if you really need it. So don't hesitate to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, I think that's then demo. So I didn't look at who is doing assignments, but I believe that's next. Or no, what's next?
Yeah, next is a retro. Yeah, and that I think is Andy this week.
That's me. I can share my screen, but would also invite you to pull up a new project that I created called Retro Week 5, the most recent one. And on this board, we have the 4 columns from last week: what went well, what could be improved, kudos, and action items, which we'll use to capture things coming out of the previous columns. Let's see. I think, did we do 5 minutes last time, Scott? Remind me.
Yeah, I think we said 7, but and you are wisely using the Google thing for this, whereas I used a website that just didn't work. But 5 or 7, whatever, 5 minutes is fine. Light a fire under people. That's what I said. And
yeah, I'll start with 5, and if people are still putting up cards, then we'll extend it from there. But yeah, I will start it now. Is anybody having trouble finding it? Everybody there? Okay, cool. So yeah, go ahead and fill out thoughts you have on the last 2 weeks, right? This is covering the last 2 weeks because it's been 2 since we did a last retro, I think. We'll call it that. Got about 2 minutes left. Okay, time's up. Anybody want extra time? Looks like we were slowing down quite a bit. All right, let's start off with what went well. So first up on the board, flexibility with everyone's time and ease of working together to get issues done on time. Shereen, do you want to elaborate at all?
Well, I like really appreciate my two teammates, and I just feel like they're very good at, meeting me where at times when I need to meet, just because I'm a mom and juggling my kids and everything. And they've been very flexible and easy to work with. And I just really appreciate that a lot.
Nice. My two here that are up next are in a similar vein, which was my perception, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that like PRs got reviewed, put up, changes made, and then merged in a pretty timely manner this week. And kind of related was that it seemed like the time commitment was maybe more in line with that 5-hour expectation that we set. Is that accurate? Would anyone disagree? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, cool. See, it started a Firebase application at work. It went really well due to having to relearn Firebase for the Collab lab. It's life imitating work or vice versa, something like that. That's awesome.
Super
nice,
happy that happened.
The universe had good timing for you. Communication in Slack. Tim, do you want to elaborate at all?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, on top of, I feel like everyone being really flexible, we had a nice kind of 3-person direct message going this week. Just kind of like ongoing. I felt like that was a really, really positive thing for me, at least. I like seeing stuff written out sometimes. So, yeah.
Nice. And it can be good to like have something to refer back to as well when it's written down. I know I find that for sure. I'm always searching keywords. Like I remember we talked about this and it had the word tab in it or whatever. And then these two kind of go well together. So working as a team of 3 went pretty well, and mob/pair programming. Sounds like we will be continuing that this week. So I'm glad that that went well. I think that helped really smooth the transition. Does anybody want to say anything more about that? Okay. Cool. In the what could be improved column, I threw a couple of questions, or the first one's a question, the second one's a comment. I had scheduled office hours for Wednesday. I think y'all were just kind of cruising along on your own, but just want to see if like that was a convenient, inconvenient time for office hours, if there are any preferences for like days of the week or times that are good for office hours.
Okay, I'll start. So right now, I would prefer office hours, if possible, to happen before I get my kids, like before 5, if possible. If not, I totally understand because I know y'all have jobs and everything right now. But obviously, after I start my job, the evenings would be better. And I was like, told my husband, like, sorry, once I start my job, I'm going to be busy in the evenings with the Collab Lab because I'm going to see this through. But right now, in the evenings, it's really hard for me just because I take care of the kids in the evenings for the most part. So I don't know if that's possible for office hours to happen during the day, but that would be a little bit better for me right now.
Yeah, I'm jotting down those preferences. I think, you know, obviously between Scott, Alex, and I think that's workable, at least, you know, some of the weeks for sure. Who else has thoughts on timing of office hours?
No opinion for me. I think I'm super flexible, so whatever works. This last week, I don't know. Yeah, whatever works. This last week I was just I accidentally took a longer nap than I meant to and woke up after office hours was done. I was like, uh-oh.
No, that's a good use of time. Yeah. No judgment.
Yeah, I'm also very flexible these days, at least.
Cool. And then another one, hopefully the mystery PR is getting merged thing won't crop up again. I guess we'll wait and see. Okay, we've got some kudos. Thanks, Sarani, for practicing our demos and prepping for our presentation and being a great listener. That sounds like good practice. It's always nice, like I find when I'm going to speak, even if it's on something I'm comfortable with, that just making yourself do it once reveals maybe gaps, awkward transitions, things like that. So nice work. Thanks, Tim, for being a great teammate and really solving some difficult functionality for our group's success. Go, Tim. Nice work. Congrats to all the Collabies on a successful swarm week and more to come. Good job kind of rolling with the change and making it successful. And then last one, shout out to Tim and Shireen. Tim for solving the milliseconds in issue 8. And Shireen for being driver in the Monday night dev meetup. Nice work. Driving can be kind of, yeah, a little thankless of a job. So kudos for taking that on. Anybody want to say anything more about the kudos? Anything to add? Okay. In our action items column, I added notes about good timing for office hours. And then it looks like Scott added, we should settle with Andrew and Stacy about which of them will step up next week while Scott's off getting married, if that's something we need. Is that a conversation for the mentors to have, or should we chat about that now?
No, it's a mentor conversation, but I wanted to make sure we didn't lose track of it.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, pretty good timing here, getting close to the half hour. Any last thoughts? All righty then. I think we're ready to move on to issue assignment now. Is that right?
I think so. Let me share my screen. And let's see here. Again, this week, as long as it's working okay with everybody, I figure we'll just sort of have everybody swarm on the next 2 issues. So I think this is up to date, right? 9 and 10 are the 2 for this coming session. That makes sense to me. Okay, let's start with 9. Right. So as a user, I want to filter my shopping list to make it easier to locate an item in the list. Right. So acceptance criteria are like this. Number 1, you're going to display a text field above the top of the shopping list. Number 2, as the user types into the field, the list should narrow to display only items that contain the text the user entered in the filter field. Number 3, when the field has text in it, the user should be able to tap a UI element to clear the field. So like maybe an X button, maybe just like clear as a link. And then finally, number 4, the filter text should match any part of the item name. That is, it should not only match from the start of the string, but if you have like mashed potatoes and you type in pote, it should match that. Right. So let's have a look at the wireframe. And here's sort of what it's going to look like. We've got this filter items box, which actually doesn't show the like a clear thing, but we should have something there for that. Again, like an X or like a clear link. And yeah, let's see what else we got here. This is a great example of providing feedback that is accessible to screen readers when things change on the screen. And so this is an accessibility item. I don't think we've talked about accessibility in one of our meetings yet, but this is something I think we're going to cover next week, if I'm remembering the schedule right. So I won't be here for the accessibility. No, it's communication for deaf next week. When's accessibility coming in? Week 8? Oh man. Okay, cool. Well, I think we should have done that sooner, but unfortunately that is the schedule. So anyway, accessibility is really important, and I want to make sure that you all are there for that presentation. Andy's going to be doing it because she is really familiar with that stuff and has been excited to present it. So make sure you catch that one. But in any case, that is issue number 9. Does anyone have any questions about it? All right. Cool, so that's assigned. Let's take a look at number 10. Okay, as an item, I want my estimated next purchase date to be computed at the time my purchase is recorded in the database so the app can learn how often I buy different items. Let's break that down a little bit. The only acceptance criteria here, and that should scare you that there's only one bullet point, is when a purchase is recorded, the estimated number of days until the next purchase date should be calculated and recorded in the database. So we have a module to calculate this estimate, and so that lives in shopping list utils. It's called calculate estimate, and that should be used to figure out the next purchase interval. So that module should already be installed in your project from way back in issue number 3. But basically, take a look at that module, try and figure out exactly how it works, and then look through the data that's needed as inputs to that calculate estimate function in estimates.js, and think about how to use that output. So the note here also is that it's likely at this point you'll need to adjust the schema for an item to accommodate the data points required. So that's something to bear in mind. You might need to change around exactly like what the formatting for data looks like in Firestore. So that's okay to do, and just sort of bear that in mind. Does anyone have any questions about this one?
So it's just going to be like, we're basically going to record this number in the database. We don't have to do any like UI stuff for this at all.
Not yet. Yeah, just in the database. Anyone else have any questions? Cool. And just to, yeah, the issue number 12 is going to be rendering like how likely you are to need to buy something soon. So we'll get there next week, but for this week, just focused on trying to figure out exactly how long that's going to be using the provided tool from some backend dev, some person who put that together. Yeah, so that's the 2 issues for this week. They're exciting ones, and the app is really starting to come together. As a preview, by the way, and don't think too much about this yet. So next week, we're going to look at like deleting items from the list, and also figuring out how soon the user is to want to buy them again at some point. But then the week after that, we're really going to focus on just front end design, making it look nice, you know, maybe adding like a logo, giving it a title, doing any kind of UI stuff, and throwing some accessibility at it as well. So That's what you have to look forward to over this week and the next two. We're getting close to the end of the session. Y'all have been doing great. I'm so happy. This has been an awesome cohort. I'm really proud of y'all. You've been doing such great work, and I can't wait to see what you come up with for the final version of this application. So congratulations again to Shireen. I'm going to stop sharing now. Awesome work. Congrats on the new job. We're all very happy for you. Everyone else here who's looking is going to have a similar kind of moment soon, but we're real proud of you too, and thank you for letting us know about that. Thank you for communicating your scheduling needs, and just congrats on the new gig, and enjoy this time before it starts.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I should just literally take a vacation for the next 2 weeks, except for the Collab Lab work, like just don't do anything, or should I be like continuing to like right now I literally am watching like tons of like tutorials. I'm refreshing my memory of all the things I learned at my boot camp, but I don't know, is I gonna
I would take
tired?
Take a vacation. I've started so many tech jobs, and I rarely give myself more than about a week in between, and sometimes I like leave on Friday and start on Monday, and that's always like just horrible. And a piece of advice I think for all the Collabies is when you're starting a new tech job, there's always orientation that you have to go through. There's usually like at least a few days of that, but you're gonna be bombarded with information specific to that job and specific to like how you set up your dev environment there, which is a nice on-ramp, but you're going to want to have your brain in a nice clear state if you have the opportunity to take some time before you start a new job. I always recommend personally.
Okay, well, I'm glad I asked then.
Yeah, my last job transition, I took 2 months off, and it was just super nice because you just got a big part of web development is burnout and how you manage that burnout. So anytime you get an opportunity to take the time off, do it. And don't feel bad if like you're leaving teammates behind or something, like, because it's just going to be worse if you don't go.
Okay.
So,
no, I'm so glad I mentioned that, because yeah, I feel like I really haven't had a break since I started this whole journey of web development. And like my mom was actually like, don't try to get a job right now, just take a break. But you know, this happened, so I'm excited.
Well, congrats again. Everybody else, have yourselves a week that is filled with excitement as well, and but enjoy the work that you've got coming up. I will set up some office hours for this week, probably on Wednesday as well, and I'll just be looking forward to that. But I am going to be out of pocket starting on Thursday, because that's when I'm heading up to the venue, to the place where I'm going to get married. So I'm super excited about that for obvious reasons. But I won't be at the next meeting, and we will get one of the super mentors to cover for me, or I know Alex and Andy can handle it by themselves. We're just going to find out exactly what the recommendation is there, and we'll also see if we can get people to maybe Andrew or Stacey just kind of pop in and take a look on stuff while I'm in France for the next 2 weeks. So,
well, congratulations to you. So exciting. Such an exciting time.
It's gonna be just the best day of my life so far. So anyway, enough about my sappy goopiness. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you out there this week. Please be in touch if you have any questions as per usual, and have fun.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.